What up, Eagle family? Thanks for tapping back in. Today, we got to discuss the retaliation that is going to come behind them cutting the food stamps. Now, everybody is losing their minds. People then already started acting the fool, going into these stores, pushing out with carts full of groceries. It is getting out of hand, and it's only going to cause them to retaliate against us by pushing out with full carts of merchandise and assaulting us if we try to attempt to stop them. And in their minds, they feel like they are 100% correct in doing what they about to do. They are 100% trying to justify their actions because of the food stamps being cut. Now, the retaliation that is going to come behind the food stamps being cut is that you're going to have a lot more traffic in your store, and you already going to have a lot more traffic flow because of the upcoming holiday season. We about to head into Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So it's about to get thick real quick. It's about to get raw real quick. So the foot traffic is going to most definitely increase. Um, and because not everybody is going to have the means to buy groceries for the Thanksgiving dinners and the Christmas dinners, people are going to find a way to get what they need. And if that means assaulting people on the way out the door with a full cart of merchandise, that's what it's going to be. If that means them pushing out a fire exit door for them to get what they need, that's what is going to happen. Um so with that being said, like I'm rarely about disengaging and shying away from apprehensions, but this is probably like the only time I'm going to say this in this type of situation. This is one of them times where you've got to learn how to adapt to changes without notice. You feel what I'm saying? And these are the times where you've got to learn how to adapt to these type of changes when you are an APA. You know what I'm saying? And it might come from left field, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to adapt to the changes as they come because you never know what is going to change at what, at any or what time. Um, so understand, like, if the company is not acting on ensuring that people are going to be safe throughout the holiday season and the traffic that's going to be coming into their stores, if they're not worried about everybody's safety, if they're not doing things to take steps to ensure that people's safety um, are going to be good, then you need to just observe and report. That's it. Create a high presence, continue to create a high presence on the sales floor. At the end of the day, we still have a job to do, so we do not shy away from the crime. You feel me? We still got to do what we do, and try to prevent it, and de-escalate it as much as we can. But understand that these people are people that's been getting this for decades and centuries are now losing this perk. And so with that, they don't know how to survive without it. You know what I mean? Because they've been getting it for so long, and now that they've been cut, now they are losing their minds. And so the first thing they could think of is, I'm about to go and push out with a full cart of merchandise to make sure that we can get through this month while I could come up with a plan on how we gonna make it through the rest of our lives. You feel what I'm saying? So understand the mentality that's gonna come behind these decisions that these people are making. You got to understand that the retaliation that's going to come behind it, and they're going to hit hard. And in a lot of states, it's getting cold out here. Ain't nobody trying to be broke and hungry and cold. Like, ain't nobody trying to go through that. And I don't wish nobody to ever go through that. But the thing is this, that when it's time to show up, these people are going to show up and they're going to show out. and they're going to justify their actions because of what is going on in America right now, and that is being that the food stamps are being cut. So that's just what it is. So APAs, you got to still create a presence. You got to be able to detect people who are going to come into the store hostile, and that's going to be toxic and create a toxic environment, and you got to get those people out immediately, even if it's just trespassing them from the store. At the end of the day, you got to make sure that your store is running smoothly and that it is free from any safety risk, any body that's trying to create a toxic and hostile environment for customers and associates. You feel what I'm saying? We still got to put our fucking foots down at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I understand that people was going through tough times, but at the end of the day, that does not mean that they will come into the store and take it out on us and everybody else. That is not what is going to happen. So still stand your ground, create that heavy presence, and do whatever it is that you got to do to make sure that your people are safe, customers and employees. But understand the traffic that is about to come with them cutting the food stamps. That these niggas is gonna come hard. They're gonna come hard. You feel me? And safety people, there's people out there that just don't care. Those are the ones that you want to be on the lookout for the most, is the ones that just don't care. The ones that will comply and cooperate and hold themselves accountable, I don't ever worry about too much. It's the ones that have the mentality of coming into the store, assaulting somebody to get whatever it is that they came there to get. It's the ones that come in with the mentality of, I'm going to hurt somebody so that way I can get what I need. Those are the ones that I'm after, the big fish. Those are the ones that you want to be on the lookout for. Because when you can set an example out of the ones that are like that, it's going to help your reputation. It's going to help your store look a lot better than, a lot of these other stores, the ones that have a high reputation of having drama in the store, shootings in the store, fights in the store, theft in the store, employees fighting in the store. Those type of stores, you don't want to be part of that group. You want to make sure that your store stands out from the BS that these other stores go through. And so when you put your foot down and you let it be known that that's not going to happen inside of your store, when you put your foot down and you stand your ground and you let it be known that I don't care whoever it is that come into this store, whether you're an employee or you're a customer, that you will act like you got some act right. Period. Because this is not the place for it. This is not the place for it. And it is not a right to be inside of this store. It is a privilege. So if you want to lose that privilege, we can go that route. Now, if you want to act like you got some sense, then everything will be good. But during this season, during this time, right now, with these people cutting the food stamps, this is one of them situations where you got to be on a high alert for anything, push outs, for robberies, for people who's camping outside, for people who are coming in and they just want to do dirt, fraud, scams, all of that. You've got to be on a high alert right now. That means you got to be on the floor more than ever. More than ever. You've got to be on the floor as much as you can throughout your whole shift. And you got to create your presence and you got to make it be known that y'all not playing. That y'all not playing. And so there's going to be small businesses, small grocery food store chains that's going to get hit. because they're not as big as the corporations, you know what I'm saying? So they don't have the money or the funds to hire extra security, off duty police. You feel me? So them stores are gonna take a hit. So now when it comes to them type of stores, I would say you got to get all hands on deck. You got to get all hands on deck if you one of them type of stores that don't have the funds to hire extra security or off-duty police. You got to get all hands on deck. Everybody on the store is deterring the shoplifter, deterring the toxic behavior, deterring bad behavior in general, all hands on deck from cart pusher to sales floor associate to management. Everybody got to show up and deter the theft, got to deter the bad behavior inside and out. If they one of them stores that's just going to take the loss, they going to take it on the chin, y'all about to get hit real hard. If y'all one of them stores, whether y'all small grocery food chain or y'all a big corporation, if y'all gonna sit there and take it on the chin, y'all gonna take a big L this holiday season. I promise you, whether it got to be with groceries or just general merchandise, y'all gonna take a L, a big L. And what's gonna come behind that L is that associates are gonna be the ones held accountable for that. They the ones that's gonna lose the hours. They the ones that's gonna lose the jobs. A lot of these stores might close down because of the hit that they gonna take, and that's the unfortunate reality of what is gonna happen because these stores like to take it on the chin. They don't like to, put their foot down and start putting their foot up these people's asses like they should be. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to. They just say, "Oh well, fuck it, we'll just take the L," and we just gonna have to cut down, which means we're gonna have to cut down on our cashiers, the sales floor team. People gonna lose hours. People gonna lose their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets deep. It gets real deep when it comes to all this. And I don't think a lot of people understand how deep this gets. People feel like, all right, well, when the store loses money, they have the insurance to cover the loss, and then that's where it ends. No, that's not where it ends. When yes, the store does have insurance to cover everything in the store. No doubt about it. Now, what else happens is that once the store loses so much money and they have to make up that dollar amount some way somehow, they start coming after the associates. And then there's people out there that just don't give a fuck about how deep it gets. You know what I'm saying? So all APAs right now, this is the time to be on the sales floor creating a high and heavy presence. Deter any bad behavior from the jump. Soon as it hits the door, as soon as you identify it, handle it right off the back. If that means that you got to let them go with a trespass, that's what it's got to be. But you got to set the tone on how your store is going to react to bad behavior during this season and during this time in the retail world. We are deterring all bad behavior. We are deterring theft. If we can't make an apprehension on it, you got to start thinking outside of the box. You got to start thinking outside the box. You got to start thinking about, okay, how am I going to make sure that me and my team, everybody in the store, is going to be safe? And how are we going to, as a team, ensure that the team members and the associates and, you know, the customers and the guests are going to be safe during this season and during this time in the retail game? That's how you got to start thinking. As great APAs, that's how we think. You got to think ahead. Always got to stay 10 steps ahead of the game. 10 steps ahead of the game. Because if you're not 10 steps ahead of the game, I'm telling you, there's somebody who is that's on the other side of the ball, who's coming in thinking about acting the fool, that's coming in thinking about how they gonna get merchandise, groceries, and they thinking about how they gonna get away with it, and they've been plotting and scheming on how they gonna do it for months. You know what I'm saying? Or they might have just came up with it that day, whatever the case may be. But during this time is the time where we've got to step up and we got to start putting our foot up these people's asses, and we got to set the tone right here, right now, before it escalates. Because I can promise you that if these people don't get their food stamps this month, the crime is going to escalate. The bad behavior is going to escalate. The hostile and toxic environment in any store, big or small, will escalate if they don't get to the bottom of this really quick, really quick. But as APAs right there, we've as APAs, we got to set the tone and we got to deter that bad behavior by any means necessary. I don't give a fuck who feel what way about it. We got a job to do. I don't care who don't like it. That's just what it is. We here to ensure the safety of everybody inside of the store. We here to do a job, and that's what we coming to do. So with that being said, all my APAs out there, 10 toes down, stand on business. Um, all my Eagle family, I want to thank y'all for tapping back in. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all know what it is. Stand your ground, watch your surroundings, be alert at all times. It's your boy Eagle Eye Miller. Till next time, raw and unscripted.